just to let you know, I'm gonna start recording the um, meeting tonight. So first of all, thank you everybody for taking time out of your schedule tonight and meeting with us. I know I said in the email we're probably all Zoom experts. I don't know how many Zoom meetings you've been on, but probably too many already. So, but I appreciate everybody taking time to meet with us tonight. And I will say from the beginning, I know Mrs. Pizzuto and I have both been so impressed by um, your sons and daughters and all the work that they've put into all the activities that we've put on Schoology so far. I'm just not talking a day, talking about the last 2 weeks. We've been really impressed just by their engagement and how it seems like they really want to be a part of everything. I know I've spoken to some other teachers and they can hardly get kids to even join the meet sessions, and Mrs. Pizzuto and I, we easily have over 20 um, every time we have a meet session. I know when we combine both classes, the Zoom or the Schoology conference can't even keep up with it because we have so many kids on. So it's been really cool to see how engaged they are. So I know a lot of that is all of you just pushing them to do that, but it's really neat to see that. So what we're going to do basically tonight is we have a couple goals just to give you an idea of our expectations for the next 2 weeks. I know I said in the email that we have been given specific guidelines by Parkland School District on what we're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks. They're calling this phase 2 of e-learning or distance learning. And then we're going to answer any questions that you may have. So it's not, even though we scheduled this for an hour, I don't really believe it's going to take an hour, but wanted to give everybody enough time if there's a decent amount of questions and so on. So basically expectations for March 30th through April 8th. As you probably received I believe you all received a communication from Nicole Magala tonight talking about how there's going to be an initial phase, and then after April 8th, there's going to be another phase. We'll talk about after April 8th, not tonight, but when we get some more details about that. But basically, the major thing that's different is that the work is no longer recommended, but it's required. So when we assign something, it's actually required. The students are required to do it. Basically, the minimum that we've been told by Parkland is, and really the expectation is, one assignment per week per subject. So I have a science assignment that I have a discussion and then some notes. So there's 2 assignments for that. But basically, it's one assignment per week per subject. And the goal for these first 2 weeks is to get students just acclimated to distance learning, and it's not really made to overwhelm anybody, so we want to just take it a step at a time. I understand that this group that we have this year, I believe that's not nearly the amount of work that they probably even want, but that's just what we've been told to give. So just understand that. We realize that, some kids may have even done everything today. Well, maybe not with all the Schoology issues, but probably by Tuesday or Wednesday. But just understand the work will pick up as we continue to go through these different phases. But phase 1 is just to get everybody kind of accustomed to distance learning. And April 8th, that is, I believe, to check my calendar here, but I believe that is a Wednesday. So we will still have our spring break where we are off Thursday, Friday, and I believe the following Monday. But understand we will still have that break. So next week's assignments will be due on Wednesday as opposed to Friday. So attendance will be taken based upon the completion of an assignment. So when a student completes an assignment, they will be marked. They'll have their attendance be marked that they're present for that week. So each assignment, I know some of you may have seen already in home access that they're each a completion effort grade, and it's worth 10 points. So each assignment that's given is worth 10 points. It's a matter of just completion. It's not a matter of accuracy, even though we want them to be as accurate as possible. So it's just a matter of completion for these assignments. And when they complete it, they will receive 10 points for the assignment. So next week, again, I talked about it's going to be April 6th through April 8th. everything will be due on the 8th. And then for this week, everything is going to be due April 3rd, since that's Friday. Everything next week will be due Wednesday. Talked about that already. What we're telling students to do is make sure all questions that they send us are communicated through Schoology. Sometimes they send us emails through an account that we don't necessarily use. We always use our parklandsd.org account. So if any of you have any questions about anything, just feel free to send us a question through that. That's completely fine. If you want to send us a question through Schoology, that's fine too. But we're telling students to use Schoology as a way to communicate with us if they have any questions. So what to expect from us? Hopefully you've seen it, or maybe hopefully your students or your sons or daughters have seen it already. But basically what we'll have is a folder labeled activities for March 30th through April 3rd. So that's going to be a folder there. I believe that should be the only thing to actually even see, at least on my courses. So they'll be able to see something like that, and that'll just kind of zero them in on what they need to do for this week. Again, all activities in that folder will be due for this week. There'll be separate folders for each subject. So it's not like there's one folder that they can go to and see every single assignment for all the subjects. They need to go, for example, for my students, into my science course and also into my math course to see what they need to do. So they'll be posted by 8 a.m. Monday morning. So next Monday, we'll have new assignments in there by 8 a.m. on Monday. And what we're going to be doing with our students is an online meeting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so we had one this morning. We did get through it with Mrs. Pizzuto's homeroom. My homeroom completely crashed in the middle of it because Schoology went out. So we're going to have a check-in with them. It's going to probably be about a half an hour or so. Mrs. Pizzuto's homeroom, it's going to be 9 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. These will not necessarily, at least for now, be instructional times, but a way just to connect the kids with each other, connect with us, do some review, have some fun together. So answer any questions they may have. So those are the basic reasons for the online meetings. And again, I really appreciate everybody, getting your kids on there. It's been awesome to see all of them get on there. It's been really a lot of fun that we've had with them. And we're telling students to make sure to be present at these meetings. We'll go over some important things, or we may give them some announcements, again, answer any questions that they have. So we're telling them to do the best that they can to make sure they're present at these meetings.
And Dr. Mangan, is it
Yes.
not true? One of the students said today that on Schoology, in the courses Team Gravity, that they are saved if we record them. The conferences are saved for 7 days, and that they are listed under conferences. Whether or not they can view them, we can look into that further. But somebody did find the conference that we had this morning under conferences.
Okay. All right, so that's good to know. So if they ever missed it, they can always access it through conferences. It's good to know.
7 days, and then it disappears.
And disappears. Okay. All right, good. So probably you've all have seen this schedule already. Basically, this is the flexible schedule that we'll be going by. So basically what this is, for example, from 8 o'clock to 8:45, for my math class, it's going to be different from pretty much any other class. I will have the conference open in Schoology during that time, and if any student needs to meet with me, they can go on the conference. I'll be on there from 8 o'clock to 8:45. Basically, any of these other times that you see, they're going to serve as kind of like office hours for Mrs. Pizzuto and myself. So in other words, if your child needs to ask us a question, they'll get a response pretty much right away. If they ever need to, connect with us, and whether it's through a conference or something like that, we'll be able to connect with them at that time. We will say that if it's 8:45 to 9:30, or let's say in your kids' situation, so if it's 12:45 to 1:30, it's not as if I'm only taking science questions and that's it. If a student has a math question during that time, that's fine. But basically, They're just going to serve as office hours during that time, so we'll be available to answer any questions that they may have. So expectations for my math class, I'm just going to go over the expectations for my math class because it's a little bit different than the other classes. My recommendation for students is to work on their math goals daily. I know that does exceed the minimum of 1 assignment per subject per week. I am not going to hold them accountable to working on an assignment every single day. If you've seen the grade book, I have math. So I have the grade labeled for this week. It's March 30th through April 3rd math activities. So if I see them active at any point in time, if they completed a video or if they finished something on Study Island or completed a practice quiz, they will be marked present and they'll get that 10 out of 10 for the week. And what I'm telling them when they complete a practice test on Schoology, to let me know through the Schoology message, and then we'll jump on the conference together and I'll go over the practice test with them. In order for them to move on to the next module, they're going to need to complete a show what you know. They'll know what that is. We've been doing them pretty much all year. As of right now, I'm not going to have them take the final test before moving on to the next module, possibly after April 8th in our third phase for distance learning. They probably will be taking that final test, but for these first 2 weeks, I don't want them taking that final test. They'll just take the practice, and then I'll go over it with them, complete the show what they know, and they can move on to the next module. And for students, when they finish all the 6th grade math goals, I will have a folder that's labeled for them. For example, if they finished all the math goals now, it'll be labeled March 30th through April 3rd activities. But for my math class, for everybody else that has not finished their goals, they can just work through their math goals just like they normally would in a regular math class. So accessing textbooks, I know this is a question that some students have. They can access any textbook through the Clever portal. They all know how to get there. They will be able to see the, and there's also, they'll be able to see the different textbooks that they have for the different subjects. There's also directions on our Team Gravity page that will show students how to access these textbooks as well. Again, our one-stop shop for everything is going to be Schoology. We've been using Schoology all year, and what do you know, the first day of our phase 2, it crashed. It crashed all over the world basically for Schoology. So it's not a good day for Schoology, but hopefully for the most part, knock on wood, we won't have any issues with Schoology moving forward. But I think it was just so many people on it all at one time, all across the US and whoever else uses Schoology. So we had an issue with keeping up with everything. So, but basically anything and everything is going to be accessed through Schoology. And that is basically all I have. I don't know if anybody has any questions about anything. Mr. Pizzuto, if you have anything else to add.
Other than we figured if we take care of the crash with the conferences, we're going to reschedule our conferences for 3 a.m. in the morning, if that's okay with everybody. I'm sure your children are probably up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's a great idea.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I have nothing. Just kidding. Information that was given this morning during my homeroom conference, the kids are following up. They're sending me messages in Schoology. I mean, they're so quick with computers, and they're saying students need to make a copy before they send it to you in Schoology, or everybody's going to see what they're typing. So like they're on it. So if I miss anything, they know what to do. So I doubt anybody's really having major problems. I see a lot of people have done their work for the week. Even with social studies presentations, they are ready to share. So they are up and running. I don't know if anybody has any questions or concerns, but the students are doing well.
Are they going to hear from their specials teachers?
They should be during the times listed. I would think that's when right?
Okay.
We should be hearing from them.
Right, I believe so. They may, probably not in the way that we're reaching out and connecting with all of them. So I'm not too sure about having, Zoom meetings or anything like that, but they should be hearing or seeing something from them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
thanks for putting this together and being so great with all the communication.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for just, yeah, because this is like a big, it's just so weird, right?
It is, right.
You
It
know,
is.
for everyone to get used to it. I'm glad he's doing work because otherwise so thank you for doing that and keeping him engaged.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I think probably everybody feels that way.
Yeah, I wanted to echo the same. I mean, thanks to all the teachers. The kids are enjoying it. So it's fun both ways. So.
Oh, there, her.
Right, and we've been really enjoying them as well. So it's been great to connect with them all.
It's so important to keep them connected still at some level, I think, and so.
Right, I agree.
Joseph was upset to hear that it's 30 days now until school starts, with
Right.
most kids would be high-fiving each other. He was really disappointed, and I think
Right.
even I was in that situation, and so at least to have them be able to connect this way, and Dr. Mangan and Mrs. Pizzuto, I think it's good to do an amazing job, so we're really happy to have you.
Thank you.
Is that 30 days until further notice, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The 30 days is until further notice. I mean, it's likely to be extended.
Yes,
well,
I know.
it was 30 days. I think, I think now Governor Wolf came out with it's now indefinite, correct? That we don't know when the kids will be returning
Yeah.
to this
Yes.
point. I think.
Yeah, that's
so,
that's what they just came
Yeah.
out with
And
today.
I
So
think
it's
there was an email.
indefinite. Right.
Yeah, we've moved since I think this morning. Yeah, this just came out this afternoon. That's where we're
Right.
at with everything right now. So
Yes. Yep.
we don't.
I just want to tell you thank you so much. My daughter loves you too much, but she did her work, but she prefer the school better than online.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I prefer school.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we do too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely prefer that.
It's much stress for a parent. Is too much. I hope this period gone so we
Right.
can start normally.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
I did email Eliana just if she can check her emails and get back to me. I just want to make sure she's okay with everything.
I will let her know. I'll ask her and make sure.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, just really quickly, just want to see if anybody else has any other questions at all.
I think that, sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Just I want to tell this, but I think in middle school we don't have much problem because so they have more responsibility than the elementary. I think they're doing good, so we don't worry with you. We are doing good too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So question to the teachers, how are the children in this shared video settings? Are they behaving well?
Yeah, they're doing great. They're doing a really good job, and I don't have any issues with really any of them at all. So they're doing a great job. So
Okay, thank you.
and if they're not, and if they're not, we can mute them, which is nice. We can't do that. We can't do that in real life. So it's great.
Megan likes to have control over me by muting me.
Yeah, it's great. I can mute Mrs. Pizzuto.
Perfect.
Dr. Mangan, I have a quick question. McKenna left her math textbook at school. So that
Right.
book, that's accessible through the Clever portal then?
It is, yes. If they click, I think it's Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, I believe.
Yeah.
On Clever, she should be able to access it. If she cannot,
Oh,
have her let me know. But I heard that they don't need an access code or anything like that. So she should be able to access it online.
Yeah.
I went on twice and it said access code.
It
So-
said access code twice?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, so I will check into that and I'll get the access code as soon as I hear back from somebody.
Okay.
I know some kids are able to access it, and then I think I just have a few that aren't. I was thinking you could now. So
Okay.
I'll check into that for sure.
All right. I haven't personally looked, but she's saying she's done it twice. So,
All right. Yep.
okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
So I just had another quick question or slash, I don't know if it's more of a suggestion or not, that, and again, we're playing this day by day, but wondering if there's the possibility of maybe even doing, you know, a meeting like this once a month or something, just to connect with all the other parents and with you guys in this kind of venue. So I know usually when one person has questions, we all do, or maybe kind of, again, going forward, that might be something that would be good for us as well, just to kind of hear what each other are feeling and saying and all of that. So
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't see why that would be an issue, especially when we move in the different phases. You know,
Yes.
since we're going into phase 2 now, we wanted to connect with everybody. Going into phase 3, I'm sure we'll have something like this again. So, yeah,
Okay,
thank
cool.
you for that. Yeah.
Mhm. Thanks.
I have a question. Since they don't have the agenda, and so how will we be able to see that they've completed the work then on Schoology? Like, how to keep track of everything? How will I know everything's okay? So that way we know, to be on top of it.
I'll say that the assignments will be listed in the courses. I know I put them, there's a calendar in each course on the right-hand side. There's a calendar. And
I can even show what that'll look like here.
if you go to the Team Gravity, at least I put the conferences, if that's still on there.
Oh, what do you know? Schoology's working. It's great.
Of course. If you go to Team Gravity.
I was just going to show what it would look like in general. So for a student, I'll just view it. I'll view it as a student, and you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, because we don't see that Team Gravity in a parent portal.
Ah.
Okay, so this is just an example of what it will look like for science. So you can see on the right-hand side, it'll say upcoming. All this is due Friday, April 3rd. You can see 13.1 notes they need to read, 451 to 455, and then the factors that affect temperature discussion. So those are the three assignments
Yeah,
need to be.
the agenda book right there.
Yeah.
And then in the home access, you can check to see if it's filled in that they received the 10 points. And that'll show Friday whether or not they completed the work.
Okay, so I probably have to go into home access.
Home access would show completion of it by the end of the week.
Okay.
And something I did not go over, if there's ever an issue, a family emergency or anything like that, just please let us know. We're very flexible and working with all of you. So if there's something that comes up, or if your son or daughter cannot get to the assignment, we're able to accept late work. That's completely fine. As we probably all understand, as long as it's a legitimate excuse, and I trust everybody that it's going to be that. So just feel free to reach out, even if it's, I understand a family emergency. A lot of times schoolwork is the last thing on your mind. So don't feel bad, even if you email us on a Friday or maybe in a Saturday or that following week, letting us know. That's completely fine. We'll definitely work with you.
Thumbs up.
All right. Are there any other questions at all?
Will we all survive this? Because I'm like, I just want to stay and chat with everyone and socialize, because I feel like, it's just so weird, right? Like,
it's very weird.
Yeah, it is.
To the neighbors and a couple people on Zoom, but yeah.
Right.
But thank you guys for being, Parkland, for doing all this.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
No, I think it's so important for all the kids
I
to
missed
stay
the
with
potato.
each other and connect. It's a huge deal. I think it's important.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. For all
Yeah.
of us, right? I mean, not
For
just-
everybody. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'm a huge extrovert. This is very hard for me. I'm trying.
Whose mom are you?
I'm Abby Marquardt's mom.
I think it'll work out. Every day I tune in first thing in the morning to news. I'm just hoping somebody, has a solution to this problem, some which
Right.
way or the other. And there are promises, so let's see how it goes.
Right. Yep.
Scary. It's very
Yeah,
scary.
I think the antibodies and some concoctions. So there's some promises. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just going to be a little while.
Right.
Well, thank you very much for this meeting tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we will be sending out for the next time we have this, like I said, probably when we move into phase 3 after April 8th, we will send something out and we'll kind of explain what it will look like moving forward after that. So again, appreciate everybody checking in with us tonight. Feel free to email us if you have any questions or concerns about anything. Again, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yep,
so
you're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Good job.